First King chapter 16 verse 23. Omri began to rule over Israel in the 31st year of King Asa's reign in Judah. He reigned 12 years in all, 6 of them in Tirzah. Then Omri brought the hill now known as Samaria from its owner, Shemer, for 150 pounds of silver. He built a city on it and called it the city of Samaria in honor of the Shemer. But Omri did what was evil in the Lord's sight, even more than any of the king before him. He followed the example of the Jeroboam, continuing the sins of adultery that Jeroboam had led Israel to commit. Thus he aroused the anger of the Lord, the God of Israel. The rest of the event in Omni's reign, the extent of his power, or his deeds are recorded in the book of the history of the kings of Israel. When Omri died, he was buried in Samaria. Then his son Ahab became the next king. Ahab rules in Israel. Ahab, son of the Omri, began to rule over Israel in the 38 years of the King Asa's reign in Judah. He reigned in Samaria 22 years, but Ahab did what was evil in the Lord's sight even more than any of the kings before him. And as though it were not enough to live like Jeroboam, he married Jezebel, the daughter of the king Edbar of the Simonians, and he began to worship Baal. First, he built a temple and after altar for Baal in Samaria. Then he set up on a Asherah pole. He did more to arouse the anger of the Lord, the God of Israel, than any of the other king of Israel before him. It was during his reign that he hired a man from the Bethel, rebuilt Jericho. When he laid the foundation, his oldest son Eliram died, and when he finally completed by setting up the gate, his youngest son Segub died. This all happened according to the message from the Lord concerning Jericho spoken by Joshua son of Nun. Eliah fed by Laban. Now Eliah, who was from Tisbe in Gilead, told King Ahab, "As surely as the Lord, the God of Israel, lives, the God who I worship and serve, there will be no dew or rain during the next few years unless I give the, the word." Then the Lord said to the Eliah, "Go to the east and hide by the Kerith brook at the place east of the where it entered the Jordan River. Drink from the brook and eat what the raven bring you, for I have commanded them to bring you food." So Eliah did as the Lord had told him and camped beside the Kerith brook. The raven brought him bread and meat each morning and evening, and he drank from the brook. But after a while the brook dried up, for there was no rainfall anywhere in the land. The widow and Jeb Jarpe. Then the Lord said to Eliah, "Go and live in the village of Zarephath, near the city of Sidon. There is a widow there who will feed you. I have given her my instruction." So he went to the Zarephath, and he arrived at the gate of the village. He saw a widow gathering stick, and he asked her, "Would you please bring me a cup of water?" As she was going to get it, he called to her, "Bring me a bite of bread too." But she said, "I swear by the Lord your God that I don't have a single piece of bread in the house, and I am only a handful of flour left in the jar and little cooking oil in the bottom of the jug." I was just gathering a few sticks to cook this last meal, and then my son and I will die. Eliza said to her, "Don't be afraid. Go ahead. Cook that last meal, but bake me a little loaf of bread first. Afterward, there will still be enough food for you and your son, but there will always be plenty of flour and oil left in your container until the time when the road send rain, the crops grow again." So she did as Elijah said, and she and Eliza and her son continued to eat from her supply of the flour and oil from many days. For no matter how much they used, there was always enough left in the containers, just as the Lord had promised through Eliza. Sometime later, the woman's son became sick. He grew worse and worse, and finally he died. She then said to Eliah, "O man of God, what have you done to me? Have you come here to punish my sins by killing my son?"